Good morning and happy Tuesday. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. I am your host today. My name is Joanne. I am the Director of Marketing here with Legendary Marketer, and I get to fill in as Dave is on his final day of vacation. He will be back tomorrow, all fired up, energized, and all of that good stuff, and be back hosting tomorrow. But I am super stoked that I've got to had the opportunity to sit in, chat with our guests over the last few days, because man, they have been amazing. And I know today is not going to disappoint either. Before I bring Caytie on, if you are new to Wake Up Legendary and would like to get a text notification of every time we go live Monday through Friday, all you need to do is text the letters WUL to 813-296-8553. It's also on the screen for you. Don't text anything else with it. Otherwise, it won't enroll you. Don't add enroll WUL. Don't spell out Wake Up Legendary. You'd be surprised how many people change what they have to text. All you need to do is text WUL to 813-296-8553 and you will be opted in. All right. And as always, if you want to listen along and throw your hat down when you have your own golden nuggets in interviews or on your own, you can go over to belegendary.shop and grab all the legendary swag, including your own hat, anytime you like. Head on over there. All right. Everybody is joining in the comments. Good morning. We got everybody from all around the world, which I love. And without further ado, please welcome Caytie. Good morning, Caytie.
Good morning.
How are you today? Where are you joining us from?
I'm great. I'm in Farmington, Utah, so it's just north of Salt Lake.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So I peeked a little bit at your story and I love it because it's not about just pivoting when you found legendary. That's just one piece of your whole journey, which I think
Yeah.
has been really, really cool. So let's start at the beginning where we were doing Etsy and we've tried all the things and you've been on quite a journey of really prioritizing you to
Yeah.
figure out what's going on. So I believe 7 years ago there was a shift. So tell
Yeah.
us what was going on then that started you on this path of trying to find something that's just for you.
Okay. So yeah, 7 years ago, I had just had my last baby, surprise caboose at age 40. We
Gotcha.
had dealt with infertility our whole marriage and didn't ever understand why. But I couldn't get the weight off. You know, a lot of moms out there will be able to understand that. I couldn't get the weight off, and so I was trying everything, and I found my friend who had just recently had success with her weight loss, and so I asked her to help me, and she started coaching me, and I was able to lose like 35 pounds, and I loved everything that I was learning. We worked on habits and mindset and all that stuff, which I had never worked on, and so
Right.
I just loved it, and started coaching as well, and quickly started to thrive in this environment. It was one of the first like network marketing things that I had done that I was successful at. And not only that, but I was helping people. And so I loved that part of it. I really felt like I was helping people and I was making a good living. And we were traveling, and my husband, ended up getting healthy and all this stuff. Um, and then a few years into it, things kind of started to fall apart. And I started to not be able to keep the weight off, even though I was an active health coach and doing all the things. And my dad passed away, and then 2020 hit, and the world kind of went crazy and upside down. And then we had supply chain issues, and I started experiencing some really kind of gnarly health stuff and couldn't find answers for a long time. And so I started experiencing this dark depression that I had never experienced before, even after having my babies. And I found that I couldn't show up for my clients anymore. And so my business started to just tank. And that really like took a psychological toll on me too. I felt like I couldn't help people anymore because I couldn't help myself. And I was gaining weight. Turns out I had like severe thyroid disease, and I was going through menopause and all these things just at once. And then, you know, you put on top of that the grief that you're experiencing from, you know, my dad passing, and the world is not as it was. And then I'm losing my business, and I was just kind of this shell of a person. And then I ended up costing our family a lot of money because I finally figured out how to help myself. I found somebody to help me, but it wasn't traditional medicine. And so it wasn't covered by insurance. And so in order to get me well, we had to spend a lot of money. And so we blew through our savings. Then my husband's had some health issues. We had to put stuff on credit cards, and medical bills started piling up, and we were just drowning. And my husband makes a great living. He's a contractor and does really well, but we just were drowning. And so it took me about 2.5 years to really start feeling better again. And I ended up going on this prescribed eating plan that my doctor gave me, and I lost like 30 pounds, and I started to gain a little bit of that confidence back. And I was like, okay, I've got to get a job. I've got to do something. But I have a little one at home that can't be home alone. I've got an elderly mother at home. You know, she lives with us. And so I needed something remote. So I had tried all the things. I had tried Etsy, drop shipping, Amazon, LinkedIn. I had done a resume for the first time in 25 years. 25 years.
Wow.
And I wasn't finding anything. And so you know, of course, social media starts pumping out stuff, and I'm looking at all this affiliate marketing stuff. And I clicked on a woman that I saw one day, just a regular mom that was making money from home, but I let it sit in my open tabs for like, I don't know, it's probably 4 or 5 months.
Wow.
And yeah.
Open tab, just sitting there waiting for you.
Yes, I'm kicking myself now, but it was just sitting there, and I tried all the side hustles that everybody, you know, was putting out there, and they didn't work. And so I finally went back, and I was like, okay, I need to just delete this. But before I do, I guess I'll watch the stupid video. And so I got on and I watched Dave's video, and I was like, oh, like, what was I waiting for? So I quickly signed up for the challenge, and I think it was like day 6 where it just hit me, and I was just on fire. And what was cool is that I was all of a sudden passionate about something again, which I didn't ever think I would feel passionate about anything again, because I was like, you know, health coaching was my thing, and I can't do that anymore. So I have no purpose anymore. And it was really significant for me to find this and find some passion again. It was really life-changing.
Right. And wow, what a story. First of all, thank you for sharing all of that. And talk about being resilient. And no matter what, we all have struggles at some point, especially when you're like, you know what, I found something new. I'm going to become a health coach. This is what it's going to be. And you had decided that, like, this is the life.
Yeah.
This is what my future is. This is it forever. Nothing's going to change. I'm never going to have to pivot. We're traveling. I'm making a good income. I feel good. My husband feel good. It's done. This is it.
Yeah.
And then there was another plan, right?
Yes.
The rug got pulled out, and it's a lot to take in and decide. It's not just, I know you shared you lost your father, you know, it's not just mourning that, it's mourning your old version.
Yes. And I was kind of obsessed with it, Joanne, because not that she was perfect, but she was really happy and like living her best life. And all of a sudden that was just all gone. And I didn't understand, but now I do.
There comes a point where you gotta go, okay, it's okay to let that version of me go.
Yeah.
And embrace what I can do now. Instead of comparing, right? We compare to other marketers, we compare to everybody else's journey, but there's also a point where we compare to our previous versions of ourselves, our previous like journeys. And that was I used to do this, so I'm a failure now because I can't do that now.
Yes. Yes, you get it.
Yeah. And what we really got to do is go, yep, that version did that, but this version
Yeah.
2.0.
But she was still in there. She was still in there, just waiting to come out.
Yep, we're just doing it another way.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
going to be amazing. It's going to be
Yeah.
the best way because that's what
Yeah.
we can do now.
And going through that hard part with my health, you know, and ending up finding the solution, working so hard to get better, it really like showed me that I could do really hard things.
Yeah.
And it gave me the confidence to do this. I don't know that I would have had the confidence before.
Right.
So it set me up to be, you know, to do this. Like, and the skills I learned, you know, the personal development I did and the mindset and the technology stuff and the trainings and the Zooms, like everything that I learned doing that job has set me up for this. It's been amazing to realize all of this.
Yeah. And to go, okay, that I don't have to be sad about that time anymore because there is something that you pulled from it.
Yes, absolutely.
That made it so that now you can thrive in this new improved version of you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it always comes back to looking at ourselves in the mirror and the
Yes.
mindset and going, I'm amazing and beautiful just how I am today. Tomorrow is done. Is done. Is not here yet. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Yesterday's done. And I can't compare who I was yesterday because today's new, and all I can do is what I am today, embrace it, love it, and keep moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah. And the being able to help people again was really important to me. Like I wanted to be able to offer something and use my skills and talents and gifts and be able to help other people. And, you know, health was my weakness at one point, and I kind of am conquering that. So I'm like, hey, what's another weakness that I can conquer? And finances are totally a weakness. So I'm like, let's get good at that and help other people, because I know there are other people just like me out there that need help.
Right. Oh, that's so cool. What a story. What a story. I know you have to go back through the comments. I always say this, but
I know
everyone
I don't even have
really
them on,
giving
but I'll
you
go back.
love, lots of love for you this
Oh,
morning.
so nice.
You know, as you're going, a lot of people just stay stuck in the muck.
Yeah.
You know, they have the life changes happen, everything's coming at them, and they just stay there. How did you climb out of the hole that you were
You
in?
know, I was in victimhood for a long time, and I let myself kind of sit there.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you have to just sit in it and process your feelings. And I had learned how to do all that, but I still was stuck for a really long time. Like it seems,
Yeah.
looking back, I was like, that was forever. But I had learned some of the mindset tools. And I think one day I was just like, you know what? Time's going to pass anyway. It's been passing. And if I don't take action, it's just going to keep passing, and I'm not going to go with it. And I just was sick of it. And so I was like, time's going to pass anyway. I'm going to get going with it and see where it can take me. And I just knew I needed to take action, some kind of action. And it eventually led me to this. So I think that's just what happens. If you're open and ready to receive, then it'll come.
Yeah, ready to take, I don't like the word responsibility, but it kind of fits. It's just deciding that, you know what, if I'm going to get out of this moat, I have to do something.
Yeah. And I learned something also in our health coaching. They used to always say the obstacle is the way. And when I first started coaching, I was not on social media, and that's where my network was. That's where I had to find clients, and I didn't have any other network, so I had to make social media work for me. And it was really hard, but I ended up doing it and making it kind of a strength. And so I was like, I know I've done this before. So what are my obstacles, and how can I make these work for me? And, you know, my obstacle was money, and it was getting back into the, you know, like I had gotten completely off social media a year ago. I was just done with it. I was done with the coaching and everything. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have to do this again. But once I found that passion, it really wasn't hard. because I wanted to share it with everybody. And so I just took that obstacle that was there again and kind of made it work for me. So that has been really powerful in my life, to just think there's always going to be something. There's always going to be a struggle or a challenge or an obstacle. And sometimes it is actually the way through to the
Yeah,
next part. And
I
if you
agree.
can see your challenges as stepping stones instead of boulders,
Mhm.
then they just get you to the next thing.
Yeah, they're not stop signs.
Right. Right.
They're just, hey, this is what you're going to gain confidence by figuring out how to get around
Yeah. Yeah.
and get
Yeah.
through. You're going to grow more self-confidence. You're going to feel more empowered with every step you take forward.
Right. And
Reinforce.
I'm a God-fearing person. And so I believe that God puts these things, he's like, okay, you're ready for the next thing. So here it is. I'm going to throw this at you. I know
Right?
you can do it. I have faith in you. And so I believe that we're given these things to help us grow just at the perfect time. And, it's what we do with it.
It is. It all comes back to, are we ready to step forward into it?
Right.
Ready to tackle it, go after it. And
Yeah.
I bet even taking a break from social media, because I can relate to this, is when
Yeah.
you decide to go back, it's on your terms.
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah.
make sense? Like sometimes,
Yes.
like if you started that Facebook account, way back when Facebook started, and it's just
Yeah.
kind of just a shit show for, so to speak, of followers, and it's just kind of like,
Totally.
but when you
Totally.
take a break and you go, okay, you know what? I'm in control
Yeah.
actually of what I see, who I engage with on social media, how I want to show up. No
Yeah.
one else gets to decide that. Block whoever I want to.
Yeah.
And use it as a tool instead of as a time suck, as an
Yeah.
energy suck. Are you going on social media and you're just seeing news and negative just posts and drama, and it just kind of weighs you down,
Yeah.
and it changes your mindset for the day, and it's like,
Yeah.
yo, change all of that.
Yeah.
Just a
I
little
like
three
that.
dots. Don't want to see it anymore. Don't want to see it anymore. Don't
Yes.
unfollow, and change what your social media experience is. Take
Yeah.
back control. And like yesterday, if somebody's in the way, we say bless and block. That was someone's comment
I love that.
yesterday.
I love that so much. Yes, absolutely.
Right? But there's all these little moments of gaining your power back.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. And I'm by no means an expert on social media. Like I said, I went off for a year, so I didn't know all the new algorithms and rules and all that kind of stuff. But I was comfortable enough to, re-engage and start again and know that it's going to take time. It just does.
Yeah. And it's no one else's schedule. And then you can look back and go, look at what I've already done. I
Yeah.
wasn't comparing myself to anyone else. Look where I got out of. I
Yeah.
got out of a situation where I was really sick, right? And I was going through a lot of turmoil and a lot of loss and sadness.
Yeah.
And you dug yourself out of that. And you can always look back and go, look at what I've already done and what I'm capable of.
Yeah. And that's really important to keep in mind. Like, I mean, it's good to leave the past behind sometimes, but it's also good to have that rear view mirror, just so
Mhm.
you can see how far you've actually come, because you have a long way to go. But if you can, celebrate the little wins along the way, it's really game changing for me. And it is hard to not compare to the other,
Yeah.
people out there that are killing it and they're farther
Mhm.
ahead than you. But if you can shift that and just think, what can I learn from them instead of how can I compare myself to them, then
Mhm.
it's helpful. I
Yeah,
can't always do it, but
right. And if it's
helpful when I
becoming
can.
a problem, we had a parenting coach on. Um, she's been on twice now. And she found herself when she first launched her parenting course, watching all the other parenting coaches out there, and found that, she was a parent herself, a wife, and she only had a couple hours each day. And she found that she was spending over an hour of her 2 hours that she could spend on her own business
Yeah.
watching everyone else.
Yeah.
And then she was losing her creativity and her voice of what would make her unique,
Right.
lose what made her stand out. So she went through one day and unfollowed and blocked every other parenting coach so that they wouldn't even land in her feed and distract her from what she wanted to do and build for her business, so that she
Right.
would show up with a unique voice.
Yeah.
So she didn't look like any of the other coaches out there.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't have to worry about it. And I actually really loved that, because that's how she found her brand over time.
Yeah.
And found her
Yeah.
true following.
Yeah. Sometimes that's, you got to do what you got to do to make an environment that's safe for you and good for your creativity. Yeah. I love that.
Right. Yeah. Otherwise you're like, oh, I just made a video and it's the same video that I just watched 10 times from everyone else.
Exactly.
You're like, crap, I need to make my own. I don't
Yeah.
want to look like everyone else. I want to find the awesome, weird, crazy people just like me online.
Yeah,
So
totally. And it's so helpful also to find those that you kind of connect with, and then you support each other, and you're commenting and you're helping their content get out and stuff. And it's helpful to have a group of people that you're supporting and that support you. And even if you're in the same niche, technically you're competitors, but if you don't feel like that, then there's so much to go around. So
there's plenty.
It's great to be supportive. Yeah.
Definitely. So I know you've been on a really long journey of building your own businesses and finding your own way, where you are the boss, you're in charge. And you had those pitfalls that have come along in that journey as well. What have you learned about yourself the most in the second half of when you started the challenge in July? Is that correct? Do I have that correct?
I started in October.
Oh, October.
I've been doing this a couple months. Yeah. I launched in November. Yeah.
Launched in November. Okay. So since November, in this new stage of this bigger picture that you've been in, what have you learned about yourself from that point to now?
I think, like I said, it was really significant for me to discover that I could actually be passionate about something again, and have a purpose, have something to offer, and be able to help people again. That was really hard for me when all of a sudden that was gone, and I was like, I can't help people anymore. Like, what am I even doing here? Like, I have no purpose anymore. And that's gut wrenching when you feel like you can't help anybody. And so that was really important, that I could find passion again. I've always been entrepreneurial, and that's great. Like finding ways to make money, but this was different. This was finding a way to help my family, but also finding a way to help other people, and not just trying to sell a product, like I'm actually trying to help people better their circumstance in life. And I also learned that there are really good people out there. I was so impressed, like day one with Legendary, with their integrity and just how they set everything up. And they were so transparent with everything. Like, yeah, we're going to upsell you. And so I was expecting it. And I, compared to all the other courses I had taken, like the drop shipping and all the other courses I had taken, oh my gosh, the value is incredible. And so I was like, these are really good people that want to teach good skills. And I love, like, how you guys were talking about yesterday, that you don't do it for us. You're teaching us how to fish. You're not just handing us the fish. And it's teaching us some really awesome skills to be able to take that and do whatever we want with. And so I learned that I could be passionate about something, and I learned that there are really good people out there still that want to help you. Because I felt really deceived most of the time when I was taking these other courses, or just let down or disappointed by the end of them. And this one's just continued to build me up. So I've just loved that. It's really refreshing.
Oh, I love that you see that. I know that's what I fell in love with Legendary with. I've worked with a lot of different coaches out there and a lot of different course build outs, and man, there's a lot of crap out there. Yeah, people don't realize
And you're not
grand,
bad
10 grand.
any
It's
other
wild
courses.
what people will charge for a really, really bad course.
Yeah. Like one of them wanted to charge me $7,500 and there was no guarantee for anything. And I was like, I'm trying to make money. Do you not understand? I don't have.
Right. Right.
So yeah. And you don't badmouth other courses. That is happening a lot. And I don't like it. It's so icky. And so I've
It is
just been really
icky.
impressed.
So, and let's talk about that just a little.
Okay.
And it's not talking about other courses. I want to talk about the actual strategy of negative marketing.
Yeah.
What the long-term effect of that is.
Yeah.
Will you get eyeballs on? Yep, because people
Yeah.
love the drama. It's like a soap opera,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
then they get those followers and they get the view number and it's all vanity. And they're
Yeah.
super excited and they might get more sales because they were being negative. It doesn't matter who you're being negative about or what, whether it's a course, another person online, it's negative marketing.
Yeah.
The problem with that over time is, man, that gets heavy.
It
That
does.
gets hard every day to show up and be the negative person online.
Yeah.
And then what you're drawing to you is actually an audience that's only there for the drama,
Right.
only there to complain, to bitch, to be down in the hole with someone else because they want to stay stuck there.
Yeah.
And what is that going to look like a year from now?
Yeah.
2 years from now, when your whole page is negative drama type
Well, and then you
followers,
end up not
engagement,
being successful because you're just negative, and so then you're
and
bitter about that and you're blaming everybody else. It's
right.
just a blame game. It's really,
So
yeah.
it's really, I want people to look at long term what being bitter online means for your business, for your mental health, for your strategy long term.
Yeah.
And then as a consumer, going through a growth as a mindset shift, you're looking for something you want to learn. Do you want to learn from somebody that is practicing like just kind of really in a bitter mindset? Or do you want to be surrounded by others that are really uplifting and positive? And those are the questions I really want everyone to, eyes wide open and really think about what they want their business to look like. Because most of us are building a personal brand. We're putting our face on camera, we're
Yeah.
putting our name out there. What's the brand you want to be known for a year, 2 or 3 years for down the line? And what's the community environment you want to build? And then
Exactly.
that's what we need to do. So start looking
Exactly.
and thinking about that, especially when it comes to that type of strategy.
And I
What
think
comes up for
legendary,
you when you hear me say that?
I think legendary is a great example of that, because even like every call every morning I get on every morning, and they're all so positive and great, and Dave's and you're great. Like everybody's just so great and offering free information and free help, and um it's just such a positive community. I've been really impressed with it, and the millionaire mindset, you guys are teaching everybody how to tweak their mindset from day one. Like it's really been a positive way to start this whole thing, and I really appreciate that.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing all of that. That is amazing. So this has been such a good conversation. We are far from done because we need to get into being vulnerable, because you've been very vulnerable. You've been a living, breathing example of what it means to be vulnerable, right here in this interview. How are you bringing that into your content?
Again, this is something I learned with health coaching, because we had to get on social media, and that was our network, and we had to tell everybody how much we weighed, basically. And our weight loss journey, like that was bearing it all. And so I got really used to that, doing it. And it is super uncomfortable, because you start thinking, what are people going to think about me? But I was helping people while I was doing it. So I was seeing the effects of that. So when you're ready to get vulnerable, and I don't share everything, I'm not through some of my stuff, and so I don't share it. But the stuff that I'm through and I'm on the other side of, kind of, I can share it and hopefully it will help somebody. That's my intention, is just by sharing, I can relate and, somebody doesn't feel alone. And that's so important in this world right now because, so many of us feel like we're the only one going through something. And if you can relate to somebody else, then it becomes an important link, in this big, huge world. People. And so I got really good at it with the health coaching. And so I've just brought that over, and I'm just basically telling people why I'm here, why I'm doing this. And it's because we were, in a rough spot financially, even though my husband has a great job and works so hard. It was so frustrating to not be able to get ahead, and then going through all these health issues and medical bills and all this stuff. So my intention is just to help people be able to relate and be like, oh, okay, well, if she's doing it, maybe I can do it. So,
right.
yeah.
It's weaving through the moments that you have that were messy, that you kind of come out on the other side. And, we always say, be vulnerable, share your story. And new marketers, that's where they really struggle with.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some get on and they emotional dump in their videos. And you're like, okay, that's too much. That's too heavy. It's like when you meet someone high and then you tell them your life story. They're like, whoa, way too much information.
Yeah.
It's baby nuggets almost.
Yeah.
What would your advice be for that person that's like, I'm trying to share my story, but then just shared like too much all at once, or isn't sharing enough? Like, how do you find the line?
I think there's so many parts of your story, and it's like, when you're a group with family or friends or whatever, and you tell a story, sometimes it's different depending on your audience. And sometimes you tell different parts of the story and you leave some out. So I just think there's so many parts to our stories that we can just share little nuggets at a time. It gives us so much content really to share. So if we just share bits and pieces at a time, people will get the big picture and they can relate to different parts of it. Like, people can't always relate to the fact that, they have an autoimmune disease and they're going through menopause. They may not be able to relate to that, but they may relate to the part where they're drowning in debt and medical bills. And, so just sharing little bits at a time, people will be able to grab onto what they can relate to and take that and use it.
Yeah, it's just slowly becoming somebody's friend.
Yeah.
Having a little coffee, sharing a moment. That's a little moment. Instead of sitting down and going, this is everything. Okay, now click my link in bio.
Yeah.
That won't work either.
It's a little overwhelming.
It's a little overwhelming, yes.
Yeah.
Or going, you know what? I don't want people to really know me.
Yeah.
And then that doesn't get anywhere either. So there's that balance we have to find. So I want everyone to look back, if they've already started making content, look back. Am I sharing too much all at once? And I'm still in the mess and I just look like I'm having a pity party?
Yeah.
Or am I sharing what I learned from this experience?
Yeah. And sometimes we are in the middle. Like, I am in the middle of my financial journey. I'm not over it yet. Like, I'm right in the middle, but it's something that I'm wanting to include everybody in so they can see how it works out. But some of the really emotional stuff, you have to pick and choose what you share, because some of it can get really heavy.
Right. Yeah. And go, okay, you know what? I'm not ready to share that yet. And that's okay.
Yeah.
You get to decide that.
Yes, you get to decide everything.
You get to, and it's really deciding what your brand and what your business is going to be. What's the mark you're going to leave?
Yes.
And that's where I invite everyone to think bigger than, what am I going to do and make this happen in the next 30 days? What do you want this to be 3 years from now?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the bigger picture? What does that version of you look like? And then let's start taking those tiny steps today.
It's like looking at your future self and interviewing them and saying, okay, I love the person you are. How did you get there? What steps did you take? What did you go through? How did you do it? I love that.
What are the qualities that person has?
Yeah. How do they
And then,
live? What do they do every day?
They're confident, they stand tall, that, okay, what can I do today to practice that?
Yeah. Yeah. Just live like that person.
Yeah. Yeah. And then help bring it about.
Yeah.
I think that's important. We get so stuck in, all right, I'm going to take this course, or I'm going to learn this, and it has to be immediate. And then we compare to everyone else. And for some reason, we all think we're the only one that's going slow, but yet like 95% of you are all on the same timeline, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. And I got used to
that little percent that's ahead of
I got used to playing the long game. Like I just went through a really long game with my health. So I got used to it. I was like, yeah, I can do long game. I've done that. I'm good.
And it goes back to looking at, what you've been through and using it as part of your message, what you've learned, and how you can apply it to this new version of you. Taking what you've learned and applying it instead of just, keeping it hidden or ashamed of. You're embracing it.
Right. Exactly. I think it's so helpful to go back and look at all the significant points in your life. This is an exercise I did once in a training that we did. And you were to go back and look at all of the major points in your life, negative and positive, and look at what they taught you and what you learned from it, and not looking at them as failures, but again, looking at them as stepping stones or things that you learned, skills that you've, acquired, tools in your tool belt. And, all of your life experiences up to this point have gotten you to where you are, and they're meant to help you and teach you. And so I've done that several times where I can clearly see the lessons that I was taught. And I'm like, if I'm not taking these lessons and applying them, then what is the point here? Like, I need to be using all this stuff.
Right. Yeah. There is a point of being stuck in just learning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Learning mode. Oh, I'm getting ready to get ready. I'm getting ready to get ready.
You're being prepared for something. Like, I just really felt like I was being prepared for this new opportunity that was going to come along. And I was a little bit stubborn in picking it up, but but I think I needed to go through all of that. Like, I needed to try all the things before I was just like, okay, fine. Because I now know none of those things work for me. And I can share that. I can share that experience and say, this is what I did and it didn't work. So, so I was grateful actually that
you literally can. Someone can be like, well, maybe I'll sell something on Etsy, and be like, I had artwork on Etsy. I had 35 sales total in my lifetime. And that's it. Right. Yeah. And he goes, oh, well, maybe I'll try an MLM. Well, I tried that. Maybe I'll try this. So you're like, oh, I've done drop shipping too. Let's talk about that. I'll share my experience. Maybe yours will be different, but I can share mine with you. I mean, you literally tried it all. Yeah. And what's awesome about all of that, guys, she didn't say, all right, I quit today. I'm never going to keep trying to find something that works for me, because you needed something that was on your terms. You are an entrepreneur at heart. You just hadn't found your thing yet. And that's okay.
Yeah. And I knew it was out there. I knew it was. I just was, I needed to find it.
Yeah. And that is the definition of quitting is never on the table.
Yeah.
Quitting.
Yeah. Because what's the alternative if you quit? Like, what is, there is no, you can't quit. You just end up being a blob on the couch. You can't.
Right? What does that look like? And am I happy with what that looks like?
I don't even know.
You made a choice. Is that a choice you're happy with? And we're not saying, that our education, I don't want to sit here and be like, our education, this has to be your choice, but
just anything.
Explore it. Be skeptical. Ask questions and see how you feel about it with an open heart, open mind, and see if it's something you really want to do.
Yeah. Well, and that was my first meeting with Marco. I was like, he's like, so why are you here? And I said, I just want to know if this is a good fit for me. He's like, awesome. You're going to figure it out. And I did. And so that's why I just recommend it to everybody. I'm like, just take the course. You'll figure it out while you're doing it. You'll figure it out if it's the right thing for you.
Yeah. And that's truly why it's $7. It is the best course out there for you to figure out.
That is the best deal to figure out what to do with your life.
Yeah. And even if it's no, well, at least you know.
Right. And it's $7. Like, it's literally the best deal to figure out your next step. It really is. Like, you can't lose.
Yeah, totally. Okay, I have to share this comment on the screen from
Okay.
Jessica. Staring at the ceiling will not get you anywhere. You're right.
Yes.
You might as well try something.
Yeah.
Take action somehow.
Take action. That's the key, is when you're taking action, you're gonna find it. You're going to find it. And if you don't, and while you're finding it, you're going to learn lessons along the way. There's no downside to it. There's no downside.
No, there's not. And for those that are like, still struggling with, I don't think I can do that. There's a lot of self-doubt, and it's really about lacking self-confidence.
Yeah.
Still looking for, just not finding what is good, feeling like they're never going to get wins. They never had wins. And I invite you, when you're really that deep down in the hole of, I just kind of feel worthless in life. I mean, as silly as it is, get out a piece of paper and a pen, or get out your notes on your phone and write down 3 things. And one of them could be like, still breathing. Right? It just, there are 3 things that were good that day.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how little they are. Find those 3 things, write them down before you go to bed.
Yeah. You know what, Joanne, I've had a practice for, I think it's going on 16 years now of, I'm sorry, my dogs are barking, of writing down every night. I keep a gratitude journal. And I can't help but think that has been so instrumental in getting me through everything that I've been through. And everybody goes through hard stuff. Like, I'm not the only one. Everybody has something. Yeah. But when you're in this place of trying to find the good or something to be grateful for, something flips in your brain, and it's just, you can go to bed feeling a little bit better about yourself.
Yeah,
even if that's all you can put down is
neuroplasticity. Right? Yeah, we're retraining our brain of what to focus on. Negative people have actually trained their brain to find the negative.
Yes. It's so true and so sad. It's so sad because our brains are amazing. And
it's wild. When I first learned this, I was like, oh, dang.
Yeah. It's
so
powerful.
That's why you have people that are like, man, that person's really negative. They're actually have already trained their brain to do that and to think that way and to look for those things. So you have to, when you realize that you're being negative about yourself, about life, about others, and you're kind of stuck in that, you have to put into practice. And a gratitude journal is the best way. You have to force yourself to start finding what was good that day. Even if it's like, I got all green lights going down the main road today. Or something.
It doesn't matter
what it is.
I got a shower today.
Right? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what it is. If it made you smile, if it made you like, write it down. And start retraining your brain to start looking for the good in your life. And you will start finding the good in your life.
Yes. Where your focus goes, energy flows. That's what always goes through my mind.
Yep. So true. Where your focus goes, energy flows. Yep. Yeah. Whether it's comparing to someone else in the online space, your energy is actually going to that person instead of your own business.
Yeah. And I catch myself doing that. And so I'm like, nope, time to stop, time to flip the switch.
Yep, definitely. It's wild. I mean, really, so much of what we have to get through is like right between our ears.
It's mental. Yeah.
It's mental. And that's a hard thing to face when you're like, I thought I was just going to learn how to build a funnel.
It's so true.
I was just going to make a couple of TikTok videos and dance a little. And you're like, crap, I got to look at myself in the mirror and face my woes and face what's holding me back and face my lack of self-confidence and figure this out.
But even the funnel building, Joanne, like that is one of my weaknesses for sure. And I kind of avoided it with all the help coaching. Like, I could run a Zoom, but that was about it. And so with the funnel building, my head was exploding. There were tears, but I'm like, no, this is in the course. They obviously think I can do this, and people do it. So I'm going to figure this out. And I did. I figured it out. And so now I'm able to help other people. I have a couple friends who are doing it, and I'm like, just let me answer your questions, because I I can save you some tears. But it built some really big tech muscles in me that are there now. And I'm so grateful that I pushed through and did it.
Yeah.
So whatever your weakness is, whatever, if it's social media or tech or
and
whatever.
And release that it needs to be this beautiful, perfect looking funnel. I have seen more funnels produce opt-ins that were ugly as ever, that had typos.
But it was a funnel.
Throw it out there, get it live, make sure it's compliant, and then you can go back and tweak it.
Yeah, exactly. Just get it out there.
Just get it out there, and then we can work with it. But if you're stuck just staring at it and just feeling like I can't do this, you won't.
Yeah.
You won't figure it out. But yeah, if you're a Blueprints member and you're stuck in module 6 crying through the tears, get on Support 101. We'll even take control of your screen.
There's so much support.
Record that's broken, and
there's so much support. That's the other thing I love about Legendary. There's so much support every single day. Use it. It's so awesome. It's so awesome.
Suzanne says she froze on the funnel part for the last 4 months. We can do this, Suzanne. We can do this.
You can do it.
Simple. Don't add a whole bunch of copy. Just make it really clean, simple. Grab a template and just get it live.
Yeah.
And then we can tweak from there and add from there.
Yeah.
Definitely. Don't allow the funnel to be the roadblock.
Yeah. Obstacle is the way.
Obstacle is the way. I love that. I even wrote it down while you were talking earlier. Obstacle is the way.
Yeah. If that's your obstacle, make it your, for lack of a better word, make it your bitch. Just make it happen.
Own it. I'm going to own you. You got this. You can do this. Definitely.
Yeah.
And, everyone's like, what funnel builder should I use? And I love this example from Dave. I wrote an email about it once, and I'm going to say it again today. Every funnel software out there, their marketing angle is our software is what's going to change your business. Nope. Yeah. It's just a tool. It's just a tool. Take a couple hours, try out 2 to 3 different funnel builders with their trials or whatever.
Yeah.
And decide which one you find easiest, because they're all very similar, but we all kind of apply tech a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Commit to 2 hours, that by the end of the 2 hours, you're picking one, and that's what you're going to go with.
Yeah, I agree.
And then
I did.
Just get it done and don't worry about it. It's like going to Home Depot for 3 weeks, walking into the aisle going, I need a hammer for this project at home.
Let's try some out.
There's 30 hammers. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, here's some more. Look at these hammers. Ask some other people, which hammer did you buy? Oh, just pick one. Just pick a hammer.
Yeah.
Because right now the project at home is still sitting there because you don't have a hammer. It doesn't matter which hammer.
It's not going to get done. Yeah.
Yeah. Just grab a hammer. If price is a problem, go grab the cheapest one, grab a hammer, and be done.
Yes. There's so many factors involved. So whatever works for you. And another great tool, Decade in a Day. That was that's so amazing. Seriously, it's so great.
We have a lot of, I love Decade in a Day. We have a class on there, and we show you, we can build it all.
Yeah.
You can do this, and how all of the skills learned are applied to any niche, any product. Yeah. It's all the same practice and strategy that you put in to action. And we have a ton of fun. We just get,
it's a blast. It was a blast. Yeah.
I love it. Love it. All right, Caytie, thank you for coming on today. You need to come back for a follow-up. Keep us posted on how your business is growing, how you expand it, and reach out to me. I love updates, and we need to have you back on and meet Dave as well, for sure.
Yeah, that would be fun. Thanks so much, Joanne. I'm glad I got to talk to you today. It was really fun.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right, guys, please go follow Caytie on Instagram at Caytie Affiliate Files. Ooh, and Caytie is spelled Cayties, affiliate files, Files. No hyphens, no underscores. It's all connected. It is on the screen right now, but for those that are listening to the replay on your favorite podcast platform, it's Cayties, affiliate files, Files. Go give her a follow, comment on her content, let her know that you saw her on Wake Up Legendary as well. Dave is back tomorrow, and I love this woman. She is amazing. She has an amazing story. If you don't know her, you need to. Her name is Em Walcott. She will be on tomorrow with Dave. It is an interview you will not want to miss. And as always, stay legendary. Peace.